You know, today money down the drain is not an option. And when it comes to tossing our staples out because we're not sure if they're still good, or even worse, using them and then ruining a perfectly good recipe, a test for freshness is a welcome idea. Well, take baking powder. You want to know if it's still packing a punch? Now that we're baking more this time of year, here's how. Simply place a tablespoon of water in a bowl and add 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder into it. If it bubbles and fizzes like this, it's still good as new. Now, if it's flat, it won't work right in our recipes, and it's time to toss it and replace it. Next time, store it tightly covered away from heat at room temperature, and it should last about 12 to 18 months after it's opened, meaning that we get more bang for our buck. Another thing to keep in mind, don't confuse baking powder with baking soda. They look alike and sound alike, but not interchangeable. To test that for freshness, we add 1/4 teaspoon of it to a tablespoon of white vinegar. And if that fizzes and bubbles, we're good to go. Now, if you'd like to know more about both baking powder and baking soda, what makes them different, and get a super recipe for my old-fashioned baking powder biscuits that I know your gang will love hot out of the oven, everything's posted online for you right now. So check it out and be the expert that minds their pennies, because these days, money down the drain isn't sensible. So a bit of know-how can be the first line of defense for enjoying lots of homemade. Ooh, it's so good.